Time for fun, time for smiles, a special time for you.
Storytime with Barney
is what we love to do. Stories old and stories new, a fairy tale or two.
Storytime with Barney
is fun for me and you. We just love to share great tales from here and there. So listen carefully, with your imagination you can see. Now let's go to Storyland and we'll learn something new. Here's a special story just for you. Hi there, everybody. This is your friend Barney, and I have some very special stories just for you. The first story is about some animals that live in the jungle. Some of the animals are very big, and some are very little. The name of this story is The Lion and the Mouse. Now get comfy, snuggle up, and get ready to listen. I'll tell the story, and you can use your imagination. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a big jungle. And if you use your imagination, you can make a picture of that jungle in your mind. There was a hot sun in the sky, and lots of green bushes all around. There were tall trees filled with birds of every color. And there were lots of different animals living their lives far, far away from where people live. Now the king of this jungle was a lion, but he wasn't a kind and gentle king. No, he was a king who made the other animals afraid because of his big teeth and his sharp claws and his loud roar. One morning, the lion went out walking through the jungle. And even though he was very large, he could walk very quietly, just like all cats can. And after a bit of walking, the lion saw a monkey who was sitting on the ground, just starting to peel a banana for breakfast. Now the monkey didn't see the lion, and as he peeled his banana, here's what the monkey said.
I should be the king of the jungle because I can do so many things with my clever hand.
Uh-oh. The lion walked up right behind the monkey and said, "Roar!" Whoa! That monkey dropped his banana in the dirt and ran straight up a tree, just as scared as he could be. And the lion said,
I don't need your clever hands, monkey. I am the king of the jungle.
And off he walked, feeling very proud of the way he had scared the monkey. Later that same morning, the lion saw a great big elephant who was taking a drink from the river with his long trunk. Now the elephant didn't see the lion, and as he got his drink, here's what the elephant said.
I should be the king of the jungle because I have such great strength.
Roar!
Whoa! That elephant jumped right into the river, just as scared as he could be. And the lion said,
I don't need your great strength, elephant. I am the king of the jungle.
And off he walked, feeling very proud of the way he had scared the elephant. After walking a bit more, the lion saw a teeny tiny mouse who was trying to pull a berry off of a bush and didn't see the lion at all. After a whole morning of prowling and growling, the lion was feeling a bit hungry And so he scooped up that mouse in his great big paw and held her tight.
Roar!
Oh, please, don't eat me.
And the lion opened his mouth wide. Ooh, I can't look.
No, wait. If you let me go, maybe I can help you someday.
The lion was so surprised to hear this that he closed his mouth and looked at that teeny tiny little mouse.
You help me?
And the lion laughed until his tummy hurt too much to eat. So the lion put the mouse back down on the ground and said,
All right, little mouse. You can go. And maybe someday you can help me.
Oh, thank you.
and the little mouse ran into the bushes just as fast as she could. But the mouse had not been gone long when the lion started to get hungry again. And so he went prowling through the jungle, looking for something to eat. And before long, the lion saw a nice piece of meat sitting in the middle of the path.
Ooh, that looks good.
The lion walked towards that piece of meat, and suddenly...
Roar, roar, oh no!
Oh, a big net dropped onto the lion. He struggled and pulled.
I'm trapped in this hunter's net. How will I ever get out?
But just then, the monkey came swinging through the trees.
Oh, monkey, I'm so glad to see you. Please use your clever hands to free me from this net.
You do not need my clever hands. You are the king of the jungle. Goodbye.
And the monkey swung through the trees and was gone. But a bit later, the lion heard great big footsteps coming. It was the elephant walking right towards the lion.
Oh, elephant, I am so glad to see you. Please use your great strength to free me from this net.
But the elephant, who was still angry, said,
You do not need my great strength. You are the king of the jungle. Goodbye.
And the elephant walked on through the jungle and was gone. Now the lion was very afraid, and he put his great head down on the ground and waited.
No one can help me now.
But just then, the lion saw the bushes wriggle and jiggle the tiniest bit. And then out ran the little mouse.
Lion, what has happened to you?
I am caught in a hunter's net and no one will help me.
I said that I would help you, and I will.
But how can you help? You are so small and weak.
Yes, but my teeth are as sharp as knives, and I can chew right through that net.
And sure enough, that little mouse started to chew here, and chew there, and chew one spot, and then another, and before long, the lion was free.
Roar! Little mouse, even though you are very small, you have been a very big friend. And from now on, I promise to be friends with everyone in the jungle. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And from that day to this, the lion and the mouse have been very good friends. The end. Oh, that was a good story. I'm so glad the lion learned that even if someone is very small, they can still be very important. Just like you. Oh, I can't wait to share this story with you. It's called The King's Minstrel. Long ago, there were minstrels who traveled from place to place, singing songs and playing a musical instrument. Now, while I tell the story, you can use your imagination. Are you ready? Okay then, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a brave and good king named Randolph and his beautiful and wise queen named Victoria. But in another kingdom, there was another king named Gurgen who was not nice. People ran away from bad King Gurgen and told good King Randolph and good Queen Victoria how bad Gurgen was.
How can we help the people in his kingdom?
Maybe Gurgen doesn't know how to be a good king. If I visit him, I can show him how to be nice and kind.
So good King Randolph traveled to the kingdom of bad King Gurgen. After weeks and weeks had gone by, a letter came.
My dear Queen Victoria, I came to show King Gurgen how to be nice and good, but he is mean and doesn't care. Now, he won't let me go. He says that I am his prisoner, and he will not let me leave until you pay him 10,000 million gold paloozas.
Paloozas are a kind of money, and what bad old King Gurgen wanted was a lot of money. So good Queen Victoria called all the people in her kingdom together and asked for help.
What can we do? Help me, my good people. Help me save my husband, good King Randolph. We must get him out of jail and bring him home. Even if we did have the 10,000 million gold paloozas, how would we get it to bad King Gurgen? That is a lot of money. Someone might steal it along the way, then we would have no money and still no king.
Wait a minute. I have an idea. Let's all go fight bad King Gurgen and take our good King Randolph back.
Great idea. No, no. If we fight, someone will get hurt. My people, thank you for your ideas, but this is a difficult problem. How to save my husband, good King Randolph, without losing all our money or having someone get hurt.
Poor Queen Victoria, what could she do? Her husband, good King Randolph, was far away and a prisoner of a bad, mean man. She couldn't pay the money to bring her husband home, and she wouldn't fight the bad man because that would be wrong. Then, in the middle of the night, she thought of a wonderful plan. She would go to bad King Gurgen's kingdom by herself in disguise as a singing musician, a minstrel. So she put on the colorful clothes of a minstrel. Then she cut her long, beautiful hair until it was very short, just like a boy's. She wrote a letter to her people saying that she was going to be gone for a while, and she told them how to run the kingdom. Then she picked up her guitar and, all alone, she left her castle. She traveled far, far away, playing her guitar and singing songs. And as she traveled and sang, no one knew that the minstrel was really good Queen Victoria. And so she was able to get into bad King Gurgen's kingdom without him knowing that she was there to save her husband from jail and bring him home. And before long, the wonderful, talented minstrel was invited to perform for King Gurgen himself.
So, minstrel boy, everyone tells me that you play the guitar well and that you can sing wonderful songs. Well, we shall see, for I want you to play and sing for me. And if I do not like what I hear, I will put you in my jail.
Oh my, that King Gurgen is really mean.
Play, minstrel, and it'd better be good.
So, the disguised Queen Victoria began to play and sing.
La 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 la.
What I've heard is true. You are good. Minstrel, another song.
The minstrel played and sang, and bad King Gurgen never knew that the minstrel was really good Queen Victoria in disguise. Boy, would he be surprised. Finally, when it was nighttime, there was one very special song.
I am so sad when you do me wrong. When you're bad and mean, we can't get along. If you act nice, then we all can play, and we'll have a wonderful day.
I'm having a wonderful time.
Then why are you crying?
Because your song made me think. I have been bad.
King Gurgen, you can always change the way you behave.
You mean I could start being nice?
Yes, and then people would like you.
Minstrel, that is a very good idea. I'll start being nice to everyone right away. And I'm going to start with you. What would you like as a special thank you present?
There is something I would like. A friend. I get lonely traveling all by myself, and I would like a friend to come along with me.
You have many friends in my kingdom. Pick anyone you wish. My strongest soldier to protect you, or my best cook to make your food.
Those people are too important to you, King Gurgen. I only want a friend. Maybe someone that you won't miss.
I can't think of who that would possibly be.
How about a prisoner?
One of my prisoners? That is a strange request, but done. Here is a letter from me, the king. Give it to the jailer, and he will give you any prisoner from my jail.
Any prisoner?
Any prisoner.
That was just what good Queen Victoria wanted. Now she could save her husband, good King Randolph. No one could stop her, for she had a letter from King Gurgen himself. Wow, was Queen Victoria happy? She ran to the jail and set her husband free. But since Queen Victoria was still in disguise, her husband didn't know that the minstrel boy was really his wife. They got on their horses and rode as fast as they could back to their kingdom. Then the minstrel snuck off and changed back into her queen's clothes to welcome her husband home. And her husband didn't know that the minstrel boy and his wife, good Queen Victoria, were both the same person. He didn't recognize her.
My good husband, it is wonderful to have you safely back with us.
Oh, yeah? When bad King Gurgen made me his prisoner, I wrote a letter. And you did not send the money he asked for to save me.
My dear husband, we did not have the money.
And so you left me in prison?
No, you are free, and now you have returned home to us.
No thanks to you. A minstrel boy helped me. You did nothing to save me.
I am sorry that you are so angry with me, but I think I have a little surprise that will make you happy.
And Queen Victoria went into the next room and changed back into her minstrel disguise.
It was you! You were the minstrel who saved me!
And it didn't cost us a single palooza.
How clever you are!
And good King Randolph and good Queen Victoria lived happily ever after. The end. Oh, that was a good story. Queen Victoria helped King Gurgen learn that people have a lot more fun when they're nice to each other. I'm so glad you listened to my story. Oh, I just know you're going to like this story. The title is The Walnut Tree. It's about a little girl and her favorite tree. A walnut tree that's tall and strong with beautiful leaves. Ooh. Now, I'll tell the story and you listen carefully. Remember to use your imagination. Now get comfy and cozy. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Nani. Nani liked to visit her Auntie Jo and Uncle John. They lived in a white house with lots of trees around it. Nani loved playing under the trees. She had picnics, and imagine she was camping out. Trees are so nice to play under, aren't they? One day, Uncle John said to Nani,
You know that great big walnut tree in front of our kitchen window, Nani. I think I'm going to chop it down.
Chop down the walnut tree? Uncle John, it's my favorite tree. It's so big and strong, I can't even get my arms around it. And it holds my tire swing, too.
Well, we can move the tire swing to a tree behind the house.
Nani didn't want the walnut tree cut down. She asked Uncle John to remember how the tree gave them lots of walnuts. But Uncle John said,
Well, we don't eat as many walnuts as the tree gives us.
Oh dear, it sounded like maybe Uncle John really had made up his mind to cut down the walnut tree. Nani tried one more time to save her favorite tree.
Uncle John, please don't chop down the walnut tree.
You know, Nani, I'm getting pretty old. My knees hurt when I bend down to pick up all the walnuts and leaves that fall from the tree.
Nani was so sad. The walnut tree was like a kind friend. And now her old friend was going to be chopped down. Nani said,
Excuse me, Uncle John. I'm going outside. I want to say goodbye to my friend.
Nani went and sat down under the walnut tree, and she talked to it.
I guess you heard. Uncle John's going to chop you down.
The tree didn't say anything. Nani kept talking.
I am going to miss you so much. I wish I could save you.
Nani lay on her back and tried to think how to save the tree. Just then, she heard something.
Hey! The robin's eggs have hatched!
Oh, 3 blue eggs hatched into 3 pink baby robins. Nani had a great idea. Maybe she could save the walnut tree. Good girl, Nani.
Uncle John, come outside. I want to show you something.
Okay, Nani.
Nani asked Uncle John to lie under the tree with her.
Sure thing. There. It's a long way down for an old chap like me. Say, look at all the leaves. They seem to be dancing in the wind. It sure is pretty, Nani.
It is, isn't it? But, shh. Listen.
Uncle John lay really still. That's hard to do, isn't it? Then he said,
What's that?
Baby robins.
And there's the mother robin carrying a fat wriggly worm.
No, it's Father Robin. He helps take care of the babies, and that worm is lunch.
A worm for lunch? Would we like that? No, but the birdies do, don't they? Nani told Uncle John the robins made their nests in the walnut tree every spring. Uncle John said,
You don't say. Baby robins sure make it hard to chop down a walnut tree.
Uncle John and Nani lay in the shade. Uncle John tried to get up.
Sure is comfy under this tree. I need to get up, but I can't do it.
Right then, a butterfly came flying by. It looked like a flower fluttering through the air. Oh, don't you just love butterflies?
Will you look at that? I used to love chasing butterflies when I was a kid.
Every spring there are lots of caterpillars on this tree, and they eat, and then they wrap themselves up in leaves and turn into cocoons.
And that fuzzy cocoon is really a fuzzy house that a butterfly will come out of one day. Butterflies sure make it hard to chop down a walnut tree.
Uncle John and Nani lay in the grass under the big walnut tree. Uncle John said the leaves were whispering to one another. Do you know how to whisper? Sure you do. Have you ever heard leaves whisper? Uncle John and Nani were being so quiet and listening so hard, a squirrel didn't see them and came scampering up the trunk of the walnut tree.
Look, Nani, the squirrel isn't afraid of us one bit.
I think he has a squirrel nest near the top of the tree, because I always see him running up there with nuts and things in his mouth.
Do you think he eats walnuts from this tree?
Oh, yes. He loves to eat walnuts. Auntie Jo says he gets quite cross with her when she goes to collect some for us. She calls him Sir Squirrel because he's so bossy.
Suddenly, Sir Squirrel squirrels saw Uncle John and Nani and began to chatter.
Oh my, he is a bossy fellow. Sir Squirrel sure makes it hard to chop down a walnut tree.
Nani was thinking about the squirrels and the robins. She turned to Uncle John and asked,
Where will the squirrels and robins go, Uncle John, when the walnut tree is gone?
They'll move to other trees, Nani. Maybe the trees behind the house.
Nani was sad. It looked like Uncle John was still set on cutting down the tree. Or maybe not. 'Cause Uncle John was looking kind of sad too.
You know, Nani, I've been thinking. This is a great old walnut tree. It holds your tire swing and holds the cocoons from which the butterflies come, and holds the nests for the robins and the squirrels, and it gives food to the animals and even to us.
Oh, what do you think Uncle John said next? He said,
Nani, I'm not going to chop down our walnut tree. No sirree.
oh boy, Nani was so happy.
Oh, thank you, Uncle John.
And everyone lived happily for a long time. The walnut tree grew bigger and its branches spread wider, as if it was waiting to give a big hug to everyone who saw it. The end. Wasn't that a happy day for Nani? She saved her special walnut tree, and Uncle John had a comfy time lying under that big shady tree. Time for fun, time for smiles, a special time for you.
Storytime with Barney
Is fun for me and you. Hi there, everybody. This is your friend Barney, and I have some very special stories just for you. The first story is called The Porridge Pot. Do you know what porridge is? It's a yummy, ooshy-gooshy kind of cereal that you cook, sort of like oatmeal. Now get comfy, snuggle up, and get ready to listen. I'll tell the story, and you can use your imagination. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Anna who was sweet and kind, but very poor. One day, Anna's mother looked in the cupboard and said,
We have no food at all, not even a bite. What will we do?
Don't worry, Mama.
said brave little Anna.
I will go to the woods and find nuts and berries for us to eat.
Anna walked deep into the beautiful green woods until she reached a great big tree that grew good-tasting nuts. But
Oh no! The squirrels have eaten every nut.
so Anna walked deeper into the woods until she came to a patch of berry bushes. But
Oh dear, the birds have eaten every berry.
so Anna walked until she found a fine old apple tree. And
Oh look, there is one shiny red apple hanging on the tree.
Anna carefully climbed up the tree and picked the apple.
This will be a fine supper for my mother and me.
But when Anna climbed back down to the ground, she got a surprise.
Hello, little girl.
Hello.
It was a very old woman, dressed in clothes that were tattered and torn.
Little girl, I am so hungry. May I please have that apple?
Anna knew that if she gave away the apple, she and her mother would have nothing to eat. But
You look so hungry. And it is nice to share. Here, you may have the apple.
And as soon as the old woman took the apple, something wonderful happened.
Oh my! She's changing.
As Anna watched, the old woman turned into a young and beautiful lady. She was wearing a long dress made of bright green leaves, and in her hair was a crown made of flowers.
I am the Lady of the Woods. Because you were nice enough to share with me, I have a present for you. Take this.
Why, it's a little cooking pot.
And it's very special. When you say, "Cook, little pot, cook," it will bubble and boil and fill with porridge. And when you say, "Stop, little pot, stop," it will stop cooking.
Oh, thank you.
Anna waved goodbye and hurried home to show her mother the wonderful gift.
Mother, look!
They put the little cooking pot on the kitchen table, and then Anna said,
Cook, little pot, cook.
The little cooking pot started to bubble and boil. And soon it was full of nice hot porridge. Anna and her mother quickly filled their bowls and took a taste.
It tastes so good.
They were so hungry that they ate and ate. And when they couldn't eat even one more bite, Anna said,
Stop, little pot, stop.
And the little cooking pot stopped. And for many fine days after that, whenever they got hungry, Anna said,
Cook, little pot, cook.
And when they had eaten enough, Anna said,
Stop, little pot, stop.
Then one shiny summer morning, Anna went to visit her grandfather, who lived in another village. Anna's mother stayed at home, and when lunchtime came, she was feeling very hungry. She looked at the empty cooking pot on the table and said,
Let's see. Now, what are the words that Anna uses? Oh, yes. Cook, little pot, cook.
And the little cooking pot started to bubble and boil. And soon it was almost full of porridge. So Anna's mother said,
Enough, little pot, enough. I said, enough, little pot, enough.
But those weren't the right words. And the little cooking pot kept right on cooking. The porridge bubbled up to the top of the pot and started pouring down onto the table. And then onto the floor.
Oh, no. What are the words I have to say? I can't remember. Oh, no more, little pot, no more.
Uh-oh. Those weren't the right words either. And the little pot kept cooking until the whole floor was covered with gooey porridge. And Anna's mother had to run outside.
My goodness, what a mess. And the porridge is right behind me.
Anna's mother hurried down the street, calling to the neighbors.
Leave your homes, the porridge is coming.
And it was. The porridge slurped and slurped all the way to the neighbor's house. And the house next to that. The porridge went over fences and under gates, around trees and through people's yards. It went indoors and came out windows, and before long, everyone had to leave their homes.
Oh, I wish I could remember those words.
Just then, Anna came walking back from visiting her grandfather, and she was very surprised to see her village being covered with porridge.
It must be coming from my little cooking pot.
Anna knew the special words she had to say, and if you know the words, you can say them too. Ready?
Stop, little pot, stop.
And the little cooking pot stopped. Everyone cheered, and Anna's mother gave her a big hug.
My little Anna, I love you so much.
I love you too, Mama.
And when the people of the village finally tasted the porridge, they loved it too, which was a very good thing, because the only way to get rid of all that porridge was to eat every last bit of it. And that's just what they did. The end. I hope you liked that funny story. Oh, just imagine if you had a little cooking pot like that, what kind of yummy food would you like to make? Oh, I'm so glad you listened to my story. Now it's time for another good story. It's called The Turtle and the Beaver. Tommy the Turtle has an argument with Bobby the Beaver about their homes. Now, while I tell the story, you can use your imagination. Are you ready? Good. Here we go. Once upon a time, there was a place with giant mountains and huge forests, and deep in the woods, in a little pond, there lived a turtle. His name was Tommy. Tommy the Turtle lived with his family, Mama Turtle and Papa Turtle, in a very cozy pond. But Tommy the Turtle was growing up, and one day he told them he needed to go and find his own pond.
I think you're right, Tommy, but we'll miss you very much.
Find yourself a nice pond, Tommy, and come back to visit us often.
And Tommy promised his parents he would, and set off through the forest looking for another home.
Oh, the forest is so big, and I move so slowly. It will take me forever and ever to find another home.
As Tommy moved slowly through the forest, a bird flew down and sat on Tommy's turtle shell.
Hello, Mrs. Bird. Can I take you for a ride?
Why, that's very nice of you.
I'm going to find a new pond to live in.
What kind of a pond is that?
It can't be too big, and it can't be too little. And it needs to have plants for me to eat, and a great big log for me to sleep under, and a nice big rock for me to crawl up out of the water and sleep on in the sun.
Why, there's a pond just like that very close to my nest. If you'd like to carry me home, I'll show it to you.
So Mrs. Bird showed Tommy the way to the pond, and in no time at all they were there.
Here's the pond, Tommy. My nest is up in that great big tree over there.
Right by the big rock?
Oh, it's a very big rock with a big flat top. It's a perfect place to nap in the sun.
Why, I think I'll take a nap right now.
And he jumped in the pond and paddled over to the rock and crawled up and closed his eyes and took a nap. When Tommy woke up, he looked around the pond. It wasn't too big, and it wasn't too little. Tommy saw that the water in the pond was a lovely shade of green, with moss and water plants to eat.
This is a wonderful pond. I think I'll live here.
All summer long, Tommy swam and napped, but soon fall came and the days grew short. And Tommy knew it was time for his long winter's sleep.
I'm getting so tired, and the days are getting colder and colder. I think it's time to sleep through the winter.
And while Tommy the Turtle slept, the skies grew dark and cold. But this didn't matter to Tommy, because he was fast asleep. Finally, spring came to the little pond. The sun began to peek through the water all the way down to where Tommy slept. And bit by bit, he woke up and swam up to the air.
My, oh my, that was a good sleep. But something's different. My little pond has changed. When I went to sleep, it wasn't too big and it wasn't too little. Now it's huge. I can't even see the other end of it. What happened while I was sleeping?
Hello, Tommy. Did you have a nice winter's nap?
Hello, Mrs. Bird. Yes, I was very comfortable. But things changed while I was asleep. I don't like it at all now. It's much too big. Not small and cozy like before.
While you were asleep this winter, Bobby the Beaver came to the pond. He built a great big dam to keep the water in, and the pond became a lake.
And so Tommy swam slowly off to Bobby's house. Bobby was very surprised to find a visitor in his house.
Hello, and who just might you be coming into my home?
I'm Tommy the Turtle, and I came to ask you the same question, Bobby the Beaver. What are you doing in my home? I came to live in a little pond, and now you've made a huge one.
Well, that's what beavers do. We cut down trees and drag them to a stream and make a dam. So we have lots of water to live in.
That's not fair. I liked my pond the way it was. You should have asked me before you made any changes to my home. This is my pond, not your pond.
I worked very hard all winter long building my dam. I didn't even know you lived here. You were asleep all winter long. This isn't your pond. It's my pond.
And how will we decide whose pond it is?
Now, Bobby was a very smart animal. He knew that turtles weren't very fast, so he knew he could win a race with Tommy the Turtle. But Tommy surprised the beaver with his answer.
All right, if you want to race, let's race. We'll race from your house to the big rock by the shore. And I'll even give you a head start. You get in front of me, and when I nip your tail with my turtle beak, you take off.
When Bobby felt Tommy nip his tail, he began swimming as fast as he could. But what Bobby didn't know was that Tommy didn't just nip his tail and let go. Tommy was hanging on to Bobby the Beaver's tail for dear life. And as fast as Bobby could swim, Tommy was right behind him. Finally, Bobby reached the big rock. He was so happy because he knew that he had won, and he raised his tail high up in the air to slap the water with happiness. And when Tommy felt himself being lifted from the water, he let go of Bobby's tail and flew through the air, landing right on top of the rock.
So, there you are, Bobby. What took you so long?
But I'm so fast and you're so slow. How could you beat me?
The important thing is I won. This is my pond now, and you have to leave. And I hope before long things are back to normal around here.
Just then, Tommy's friend the little bird appeared.
Oh, Tommy, I see you've met Bobby the Beaver. Have you made friends with him?
No, I have not. I beat him in a race, and now he has to leave.
Leave? Why?
Because this is my pond, and I want it back the way it was.
Remember when we first met and you were looking for a place to live? And I told you about a place with lots of logs to sleep under.
Sure.
Bobby the Beaver spent all winter cutting logs and putting them in the water. You've got a lot of places to sleep now, don't you?
I guess.
And you wanted a little moss to nibble on and eat. There's much more moss now, so you can have as much as you like.
I guess.
And your very favorite rock is still here, so you can lie in the sun and take warm, warm naps.
Yes, Mrs. Bird, you're right. When I stop and think about it, the pond is nicer, I guess. Maybe I was wrong to get so mad. I'm sorry, Bobby. I was so mad when I woke up to find all the changes you made over the winter. I never stopped to think they might be good changes.
That's all right, Tommy. I forgive you. I can be grumpy when I wake up, too. Can we be friends?
You bet.
The end. Oh, that was a good story. Can you imagine how much fun Tommy and Bobby had once they decided to share the pond? Almost as much fun as I had sharing my story with you. Oh, I just know you're going to like this story. The title is The Big Cheese. This story is about sharing, and we all know how important that can be. Now, I'll tell the story, and you listen carefully. Remember to use your imagination. Now get comfy and cozy. Are you ready? Okay. Here we go. Once upon a time, in a castle far, far away, there lived a king and a queen. Everybody loved King Rex and Queen Regina, and everybody brought them wonderful gifts.
Ah, my dear Regina, look out the castle window. More gifts. It is the same every day. Everybody is so kind to us.
That is true, Rex, my dear. But we can be kind, too. We will share these wonderful gifts with other people. I am sure there are people who need these beautiful things more than we do.
One morning, when the king looked out the window...
Oh, my dear Regina, just look what is outside the castle window this morning.
What is it, Rex, my dear? What is it? What is it?
It's a cheese. A huge cheese. Well, it must be the biggest cheese in the whole world.
I wonder where it came from. Let us go and see if there is a note with it.
Oh, yes. My dear Regina, there is a note. It says, "Dear King and Queen, this is a gift for you. This cheese is made from the milk of a magic cow. I hope you enjoy the cheese, and the other people in your kingdom do too."
So? Who is it from?
It just says, "From an old woman." How strange. I wonder who she is.
And I wonder, Rex, my dear, what we are going to do with all this cheese.
We must have a party, my dear Regina. A cheese party. You know how I love parties. We'll invite everyone in our kingdom to attend. I shall have the cheese put in the banquet hall, and you and I will go out right away and invite all the people to come to a party tomorrow.
So, 7 strong men with 7 strong horses dragged that huge cheese on its large wooden platter into the banquet hall in the castle and set it on the floor. It was far too big to fit on a table. And while the 7 men were putting the cheese in place, King Rex and Queen Regina went out to invite everyone to their party.
Good morning. King Rex and I are having a cheese party. I do hope you will come.
Yes, a cheese party. Tomorrow in the castle, please come and bring all your friends.
That night, the king and queen went to bed feeling very happy because they were going to share their big cheese with everyone in the kingdom. In the morning, they were awakened by a great deal of noise under their bedroom window.
Oh, my dear Regina, well, just look out the castle window. I've never seen so many people.
Are all those people from our kingdom, Rex, my dear?
I suppose they must be. But I must confess, I did not know there were so many people in our kingdom. I'm afraid there will not be enough cheese for all of them.
Oh, but there must be, Rex, my dear. We promised everyone they could share our big cheese. What are we going to do?
I shall send for the royal magician, Gina, my dear. He will tell us how to share the cheese. He will tell us exactly how much each person can have.
The royal magician came, and he looked at the cheese very carefully. He walked around it this way, and he walked around it that way. He laid down on the floor and looked up at it, and he climbed up on a ladder and looked down on it, and he read the note that was tied to the cheese. The note from the old woman that said, "This cheese is made from the milk of a magic cow." Finally, he stood back, took a deep breath, and told the king,
"1 teaspoonful."
1 teaspoonful? That's it? Only 1 teaspoonful for each person? Are you sure, royal magician?
1 teaspoonful.
Oh, dear. And we promised everyone a cheese party. 1 teaspoonful doesn't make a party. We must ask the people to wait, Rex, my dear, while we figure out what we can do.
King Rex and Queen Regina went to tell the people that they would have to wait a while for the big cheese party. And while the king and queen were talking to the people, someone crept into the banquet hall. It was Gus, one of the boys who worked in the royal kitchen. Gus, like most young boys, was always hungry. When he saw the huge cheese, he knew he wanted to eat a lot of it. But when he looked at the crowd of people waiting outside, he was afraid there wouldn't be enough cheese for him.
I could eat half this cheese all by myself.
I'm going to eat as much of it as I can before anyone else comes into the banquet hall.
That's not very nice, is it? The king and queen had promised to share the cheese with everyone. If Gus eats a big piece, then there won't be enough for everyone to even have a teaspoonful.
I'm not going to share. I'm going to eat.
Gus took an enormous bite out of the cheese. It was much, much bigger than 1 teaspoonful. He chewed it quickly and swallowed it, and then...
Help! What's happening to me? Help!
Now, do you recall what was written on the card that the old woman tied to the cheese? This cheese is made from the milk of a magic cow. That's right. So, do you think there might have been something magic about the cheese? Yes, I think so too. Because do you know what happened to Gus?
I'm getting bigger, and I'm blowing up like a balloon. Oh, what's happened to the floor?
Oh, greedy Gus, who had eaten at least a cupful of the big cheese, had blown up just like a huge balloon. And he could no longer keep his feet on the floor. He was floating up, towards the window. Just as all the people burst into the banquet room. They could not wait any longer. Everyone wanted to get to the cheese before anyone else did. Just as all the hands were reaching out to take huge pieces of cheese, a voice was heard.
1 teaspoonful. 1 teaspoonful.
Now, the people did not like the idea of having only 1 teaspoonful each of the big cheese, but they knew better than to disobey the royal magician. So, they took only 1 teaspoonful each. And in a few minutes...
Rex, my dear, listen. All the people are saying that this is the best meal they have had in years. Just 1 teaspoonful of cheese, and they are as happy as if they'd had a huge dinner.
So, the cheese is made from the milk of a magic cow. Just 1 teaspoonful, and people feel well fed. Amazing. Oh, Regina, my dear, do just come and look out the castle window.
What are you looking at, Rex, my dear? Why, it's Gus. He's floating away like a giant balloon. We must go and rescue him. Whatever do you think happened to him, Rex, my dear?
We know what happened to him, don't we, girls and boys? He was greedy. He ate too much of that magic cheese, and he floated right out of the window. 1 teaspoonful of magic cheese was enough to make people feel well fed. The end. Oh, I like that story. It's always fun to share. Do you feel good when you share? I know I do. I enjoyed sharing this story with you. Oh, time for fun. Time for smiles. A special time for you.
Storytime with Barney.
It's fun for me and you. Oh, I'm so glad we could listen to stories together. There are more on the other side of the tape, so I'll see you there.